my presentation.
All right, fine. All right. Well, folks, come on out. Now, I want to ask you another question. I think we'll probably leave this issue
Okay.
of the kingdom now. But, you know, here's the thing, David. I refer to this Reconstructionism and Kingdom Now and all the other names that it goes by. I refer to it all the time. I drop that name in. And I know there are tons and tons of people, and particularly new listeners to Understanding the Times Radio, that haven't a clue what I'm talking about. And it requires that we go back and take 45 minutes to an hour to help them understand the apologetics behind some of this theology. So that's why I do this occasionally. So we can't just be throwing out amillennialism and all these terms, and people say, "What on earth is that?" and turn the radio off.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, wanted to say also, ask you, we are about, we're 2/3 of the way through, almost 3/4 of the way through 2010. What do you feel? Let's take the whole decade. I don't know where the decade went. I fell asleep in 2001 and I woke up in 2010.
There you go.
I can't understand it. Anyway, what would you consider, let's take the decade, to be the top 2 or 3 issues that have hit us as it concerns the doctrine of the end times here in the last decade?
Well, Jan, there's so many because we're just seeing things fulfilled before. It's an exciting time. We're seeing prophecy fulfilled before our very eyes. And I would just, let me name 3 right quickly that jump out at me, but it just depends on the person you ask. I would say, first and foremost, is what's going on in Israel. There are many, many prophecies about Israel in the end times. There are 4 that I think are the most important. One is the regathering of the Jews from the 4 corners of the earth. The second is the reestablishment of the state. The third is the reconquering of the city of Jerusalem, all of which occurred in the 20th century. Now, the final of those 4, the last prophecy mentioned before the tribulation begins, is the one that's occurring right now, mentioned in Zechariah 12, and that's the whole world will come together against Israel over the issue of Jerusalem, and that is exactly where we are. The whole world is coming together against Israel over Jerusalem, including the United States of America. The Vatican is saying, give it to them and let them run it. The United Nations is saying, give it to them and let them internationalize it. The Arabs are saying they want all of it. The United States is saying, let's divide it and give half to the Arabs and half to the Jews. The whole world is coming together. And to me, this is one of the most important prophecies we're seeing fulfilled before our very eyes. Yeah. A second one I would mention occurred in December of 2009, and that was when the European Union adopted a constitution and ceased to be simply an economic union and now has become a political union, and which is verified by the fact that just recently, about a week ago, they petitioned the United Nations to give them special attention in the United Nations with special votes in both the Security Council and in the United Nations General Assembly, because they are now a superpower. So they are no longer just an economic entity, they are a political entity, and to me we are seeing the formation of the old Roman Empire coming back together just as was prophesied by Daniel over 2,500 years ago.
And I'm down to 30 seconds, David.
Okay, and the third and final one I would mention is the one we've been talking about, and that is the absolutely exponential increase in apostasy in the church.
Thank you. I would agree with you wholeheartedly. We'll talk more about these things again October 8th, 9th. David, I want to thank you so much. Thank you for your ministry. Visit his website, lamblion.com, and sign up
Stanley,
for his...
I say that I know you've got some surgery coming up soon, and I want to ask people to pray for you, pray earnestly for you, pray for the doctors to have supernatural wisdom, for the surgery to be completely successful.
Thank you.
And for you to be relieved of all pain.
Thank you, folks. Since David said that, I need to tell you this is really my last of this Saturday airing now. Will be my last programming for a while. Brandon House will be sitting in for me heavily, and I'm going to come back just as soon as possible. I don't know when that is going to be. Hopefully a few weeks. However, because of the severity of the problem, and I don't want to say any more, It could be a few months.
Well, Jan, you got a lot of people who love you, and they're all going to be praying for you.
Folks, if you want to be kept up to date, email my office, olivetreeviews.org. Would you? olivetreeviews.org. Just email my office, and we'll send you a link where you can keep up to date. David, thank you again, and I know your contribution to Understanding the Times 2010 will be equally cutting edge, as it was in, let's see, 07, 08, and I think I'm missing one in there. 06, 07, and 08. So you're coming back for the fourth time. That doesn't happen to too many of our speakers.
Well, thank you, Jan.
Okay, thanks, David. We'll see you. We'll talk to you soon. Okay, I need to wind up this particular hour. Again, folks, top of the hour, we're going to be changing topics. We'll be talking to Mike Gendron, so we're going to continue on with the theme of apologetics with Mike, who also is one of our speakers at 2010, Understanding the Times 2010. Remember that all programming goes up on my website. All the live programming done Saturday out of Minneapolis, St. Paul goes up on my website, olivetreeviews.org. Go to Radio Archives. Sunday evening, and again, you can always order a single CD, and I would encourage you strongly, if you don't care to have a lot of paper coming into your house, just sign up for my e-newsletter on the homepage of olivetreeviews.org. Folks, want to remind you, Understanding the Times 2010, October 8th, 9th, join us. Friday night, 7 p.m., Saturday morning, 9 a.m. We've got a great day and a third planned for you at Grace Church, Eden Prairie. Some of our speakers include Dr. Dave Reagan, speaking on spiritual apostasy in the end times, and also America and the end time prophecies of Paul. Another one of our guests will be Gary Kah with his message, A Patriot Chronicles the Formation of a Shadow Government. Mike Gendron will be talking on evangelicals and Catholics together. Is this another road to the one world religion? Mark Hitchcock will be talking on Rushing Towards Midnight, how the signs of the times are in overdrive. And he will also be speaking on our blessed hope, the imminent rapture of the church. Folks, there is no charge. There's no registration. Just show up. We will take a free will offering. Show up to Grace Church Friday night, October 8th. We begin at 7. Saturday morning, October 9th, we begin at 9 a.m. Do you think we're going to have things to talk about at this event? Have you looked at the tide of our times lately? Well, we're going to try to make sense of all that. We're also going to contend for the faith. We're going to help you become watchmen on the wall. And we just really encourage you to come out, and you'll also be uplifted with others from all around the country, from probably 20 states, who come to support one another, who come to learn, who come to be informed, because guess what? They can't find this information anywhere. They can't get it in their pulpit. So come, you'll have fellowship, you will have spiritual edification, you'll have information, you will go home a different person. Thank you again. Mark your calendar, October 8th, 9th, Grace Church, Eden Prairie, southwest suburb of Minneapolis. I want to thank you for all of you listeners and your friendship, particularly your prayers, and particularly for this last year, which has been very trying on myself. I am coming back at the top of the hour. I don't want you to go away, because we're going to contend for the faith once again. That's part of what this ministry does. Please don't touch that dial. I'll be back in 2 minutes.
If Jan Markell's radio outreach has helped you understand the times, would you consider a tax-deductible donation to Olive Tree Ministries? You can write to Box 1452, that's Box 1452, Maple Grove, Minnesota, 55311. or call 763-493-3010, 763-493-3010. You also can order and donate safely online at olivetreeviews.org. And thanks for listening to Understanding the Times.